And here we are once again. It's noon Eastern time on a Wednesday, which of course means it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. If you're watching live or video on demand, you can find those things. Of course, many places, the Temptations Beach Facebook page, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and at Temptations on Twitter. If you don't want to see us in all our glory and just hear us in all of our glory, you can do so through the podcast on Podbean, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. Everywhere you can find us, just search the High Noon Hemp Show. I'm Stoner Jesus. Excuse me. I do many things on the interwebs, which you can search out. He is Beach, high above the Temptations in Sharonville at the Hemp Quarters. Beach, how are things this week in the world of Temptations?
Things are good. Things are good. No doubt. No doubt. There, it is true. I am high at the Hemp Quarters, high above the Sharonville location for the High Noon Hemp Show. Thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching live, thank you. If you're watching later, because it's all good. It's true. I think the first thing for me that I want to address, being a numbers guy, is the fact that it's 7/14/21.
There you
So, you know, that's one of those fun dates, 7/14/21. So anyway, the most important thing to talk about, probably locally and whatnot, is next week is Hemp Week, and so we're gonna have all kinds of. We'll have a store or a week long sale, and then have specials probably every day. Um, and you're not going to want to miss next week's episode. That's for sure, because I am going to do my best to make it possible to do my presentation, which is fancy graphics and stuff and all that good stuff. And so I have them. I just need to. I guess I'm just going to have to put them in picture form to make this happen. So that's probably what I will do.
If you have it like on your computer, I believe the same way that I share like pictures and stuff, I believe you can share stuff from your computer as well.
This is a app. I use this app to do my. It's called Keynote. And so we'll figure it out by 7 days from today. If I don't have it figured out, then I am terrible at hosting this show, and should be told to leave almost semi immediately. So stay tuned for that next week. This week's kind of a short show, although I do have plenty to talk about at the end, at the Ask Beach Anything and Beach Thoughts segment. So you're going to want to bear with us through the rest of this mumbo jumbo that we do every week to get to that.
Yes.
So let's jump right into this mumbo jumbo we speak of. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, on the product spotlight. This first picture is the Medterra, and this is the whole line of everything we have Medterra. Medterra's are the products that we carry from Medterra are popular, because it's isolate, and some customers really want the isolate. B, their price point is phenomenal, as far as competing with what's out there, and they just do a really good job. So all the Medterra, we're stocked up on just about everything. And it's good stuff. You can also get that online, I'm pretty sure. We have most of the Medterra stuff at our website. The next one are the Delta 8. This is we just have tubs or buckets in the stores. And these are Delta 8 treats, basically. So it's 25 milligrams of Delta 8 per treat. And of course, Delta 8 is still, making the headlines, even though I feel like it's, I don't know, it's kind of waning a little bit now. It's like the hype was there. But we are still seeing some states address their laws regarding Delta 8. And so it's obviously still a controversy, even though it shouldn't be, in all honesty. But these are just some little chocolate treats and dark chocolate and milk chocolate. And I think there's like a caramel as well. And again, this is a pretty decent price point. I believe they're only like $3 or $4 maybe per treat. So this next one are the Smoke Buddies, the Eco Composite Smoke Buddies. These are actually, I think, the Smoke Buddy Juniors, which is the skinny version of the Smoke Buddy. If you're not familiar with the Smoke Buddy, they have become quite popular over the last year with people that have been staying at home and worrying about their neighbors smelling their medicine or whatnot. And so basically, it's just a carbon filter. You just breathe through it, and the smoke comes out the other side with no odor. And so, they were decently popular before COVID, but becoming super popular now. Of course, we can't keep them in stock, and there's a shortage, and it's another one of those things. And COVID has affected the supply of, ironically. Anyway, this next one, because more people are getting out more. In fact, everybody's going crazy with it, lining up, going anywhere they can, um, doing whatever they can. And of course, it's July, which is always the month that people are traveling and going on vacation and whatnot. We've got these great Hemp Mania duffel bags. Um, you can throw all your goods in there, throw it in the car, take it on the plane, and get your stuff where it needs to go. Hemp Mania's got their stuff online too. If you go into the stores, and I know there's a lot of stuff we need to get supplied up on, but we have plenty of duffel bags at the Sharonville location. And if you go to another location and we don't have a duffel bag of your color choice, that might be me. Your name may not be in this picture. Let us know, and we'll get it there so you can pack your bags and do some traveling. I'm still not going to fly anywhere, but even though I'm vaccinated, I don't know. Anyway, um, so there's the four from my store. Now, the one from the door, I have finally invested in my hemp disc, my hemp frisbee golf disc, actually. I guess they call it frisbee golf. Yeah,
Mhm.
disc golf. So I'm sure frisbee is a trademarked name,
Yeah.
just like Kleenex or whatnot. And so these are disc golf discs. I had to think about that for a second. Um, Basically, again, they're made from organic hemp composite, and you've got, if you don't know anything about, it's just like regular golf, but you have these big metal bins with chains in them, and so you've got a driver, which two of these are drivers because I got a set for me and a set for Mary when we go out. But two of them are drivers, two of them are like a mid range, and then you have putters as well. So two of them are putters, so to speak. They're softer, so when they hit the change, they flop into the hole, I guess you would call it. But disc golf is huge around here. We have, I don't know how many, and we were playing 20 years ago when there was just a couple courses around. But it is still very popular, and there are a lot of courses to play in the Cincinnati area. Now, the next move here is to go from my door into the store. So I'm still going to try to work out a way to do these wholesale. You can go to, I think I put in Gateway Hemp Disc. I forget the Infinite Discs, infinitediscs.com. I may have put that on the second page of Hemptations.com. So if you go to our website, Hemptations.com, go to the About page, I've got websites that list that sell hemp products, from clothing to composite, dog food, all kinds of stuff. So you can check that out and shop online, um, and find these things and get them and take them home and make them yours and save the planet one flying disc at a time. Everybody knows, if you watch the show on even a semi-regular basis, you know how much I love hemp composite. So if we can stop making plastic, oh my God, we were on the river yesterday, and I don't know, it was like a barge cooler flipped over. There was so much plastic crap, bottles floating down the river. It was disgusting. It was disgusting, just disgusting.
Yeah.
Um, and if those were made out of hemp in any way, in any fashion, they would just basically deteriorate and just cease to exist in a positive manner on the planet. But instead, those stupid plastic bottles will float down the river for 500 years if given
Yeah.
the opportunity. It's disgusting. So hemp composite, once again, I'll be saying it forever until everything is replaced by it, and we don't see plastic crap floating anywhere because it just deteriorates and goes into the water. And maybe the fish eat it because hemp would be good for them. I don't know, or it just makes dirt again and returns to nature in a equal manner to which it was taken from nature, not drilled out of the ground and then lasts for 500 years in the landfill.
Yeah.
So, blah, blah, blah. I'll say it 1 million more times. I'm sure of it.
Mm.
And on to that, we have
The-
this.
I before that, I haven't played. We called it frisbee golf back in the day. I
Yep.
haven't played probably over 20 years. I know there was a course over off of Kellogg Avenue we always went to, and it was
Yeah, Woodland Mounds.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
It was
I
very-
played that course back in the day.
yeah. It was slightly
Yep.
better than that than actual golf, but
Yes.
wasn't great at that either.
Yeah.
Wasn't great at one.
It's not as easy as I mean, most people know how to throw a
Mm.
disc, um, but again, it's not as easy as it seems when you really challenge yourself,
Yeah.
because it's not just lazily throwing the disc out there. And a lot of these courses have trees. I've lost many a disc over the years, uh,
Absolutely.
and so it is challenging, and for the same reason that I do love golf, as challenging as golf is, it's very geometry and physics oriented, and that's just how my brain wants to be challenged. And so and it's just a walk in the woods. It's a much easier walk in the woods than golf, that's for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Um, but a lot of times, although there is one course up northern Cincinnati that's wide open, just wide open, and that was kind of fun too. But anyway, so get yourself some hemp discs, find the local disc golf place, and go play yourself some hemp disc golf. How about that?
That's right. Get out in
That
nature.
is a challenge that everyone needs to get on. That's the
Absolutely.
next challenge. I want to see that on all over the internet as a viral challenge. The hemp disc golf challenge. Hold
Uh,
up your disc, smile, and throw.
we'll start it. We'll get it going.
We'll get it going. We'll do it. I
Which, of
swear.
course, brings us to the greatest segment in internet history. No one's proven me wrong yet. I say it every week. No one's come forth to say, hey, no, this is a better segment in internet history, because they know they can't. They can't step to this, as the kids say. It is, of course, the beachwear segment. We ask Beach the most important question of the day, and he answers us every single week with the most important answer. What are you wearing, Beach?
That's right. If you're beachwear curious,
Mhm.
you really need to know. Every Wednesday, I tell you, head to toe, which is 7 days a week for me, just so you know. I
Mhm.
didn't mean to rhyme that, but we need to grow, grow, grow. So from head to toe, as it has been grown, you've got this is actually a flex fit hat. So flex fit is you walk into a hat store and they've got flex fit hats, and so this is actually just a plain hemp flex fit. There's a little peace leaf printed on the back of it, but I love flex fit hats. Honestly, the small to medium fit my head really well, and then they usually make like a medium to large if your head seems to be on the bigger side of things. Um, my T-shirt, and I don't remember where we got these, but I just found this, and I like to say what we call this is actually window tie dyed. I don't know what to call it, window dyed, because it was a display or folded up in a window or out where it got sun, as you can see, and faded. And what this shows is that the dyes weren't that good, which is actually a better thing as well. I say that in a sense that that's why I like a lot of what the hemp shirt companies do is they tend to use more natural or better dyes, um, cleaner dyes, and so this is naturally faded, fits me perfectly, and I love it. That's for sure. It's unique in every way possible. Um, Speaking of being grown in the U.S., my shorts are Patagonia, and there is U.S. grown hemp in those shorts that you are looking at right there. And so you can go to Patagonia's website and look into. They've got a full line of um, hemp clothing, and some of them, I don't know if all of them, but some of them or most of them actually do include United States grown industrial hemp. So we need to support that in every way possible as well. Look closely in those Patagonia shorts, and you will see my Green Springs Technology pen as I carry that with me everywhere I go. Underneath those Patagonia shorts are my I Love Bad briefs. And then I've got my Good Morning Company no show socks and a good old fashioned pair of Adidas. These are semi new, actually. I think I've gotten these probably within the last 5 years or so, as far as this color combination. So, and again, you can probably go to adidas.com right now, and they may or may not have a couple pairs of Adidas, and you can find them at other places as well for your hemp shoe pleasure. To walk a mile in my shoes would be to walk a mile in hemp, um, which I suppose is not a bad thing, actually.
Mhm.
It's true. So there you have it. If you're wondering, what are you wearing, Beach? Well, now you know what I am wearing on this particular Wednesday on the High Noon Hemp Show. Thanks everybody for watching. Just a little bit of news this week's kind of light on stuff. The first thing I think is kind of interesting is, and this I've seen this over the last couple weeks, but it seems to be that CBD is making the rounds on benefiting the sex life. I've seen multiple articles and whatnot mentioning CBD, both on the topical aspect of using CBD lube and whatnot, and also on just the tincture or um, for the calming aspects of CBD. And so, um, if you think that can benefit, then by all means, give it a shot. That's for sure. Um, Martha Stewart definitely getting a lot of attention for her CBD use. It seems like these days, mostly on the aspect of how young she looks and how good her skin looks, and how she basically says that she gives CBD most of that credit. She said she discovered CBD during the COVID outbreak, um, and again uses CBD products on a daily basis, and definitely people are seeing her and the benefits that she's getting out of that. So CBD still, if Martha's going to use it and see benefits, and a lot of people are going to use it and see benefits. It's true.
Absolutely.
Um, Here's a fun headline. Hemp seeds can be subtly added to almost any meal for boku benefits. I like the fact that they used boku in the headline. You don't hear the word boku a lot, but I believe that it means many or a lot. You know, from the 80s when I think we discovered that fancy word. I kind of forgot about it, so I'm gonna bring Boku back too.
It's not used much.
You know, because we talk about Boku hemp. You know what I mean? It should be like a tagline. Do you want to know Boku about hemp? Anyway, now I think I sent over a picture of the Alabama hemp field. Did you get that picture?
Yes, I did.
So this is kind of fun. They're just an article about industrial hemp production in Alabama, and you know how they're still kind of working it out. I don't think they're like medium scale maybe or small scale still, but this is a great picture of showing once again how, um, you know, they were probably either growing for grain or fiber here. Obviously, when you grow really close together like that, usually that's going to be for grain or fiber. And you can see that those plants are probably 9, 10 feet tall. And so again, if you're growing for fiber, and I hope they were doing both for that matter, so none of it goes to waste. You've got strands of fiber running through that entire stalk that's 9, 10 feet long. Again, and a lot of places where they grow for fiber, I think they get 12, 15 feet out of the plants possibly. Um, the better fiber would be the longer strands, again, for durability purposes. That's why hemp is one of, if not the strongest, it is the strongest natural fiber on the planet. And that's the reason why, is because the longer those strands are, the less you have to connect, which are the weak points. Um, so that's kind of fun. Go Alabama, go! And again, the South, it will take decades of industrial hemp growing to replace the cotton damage um, that's happened in the South, and so that's why they need more industrial hemp out there to just stop the damage cotton is doing and try to get the soil back to, I don't even know what, again, decades and decades before the soil that cotton's been grown in will ever be beneficial or good again. It might help clean it too, because those first years of growing industrial hemp in a cotton field would pool all those chemicals that are used from the time it's planted to the time you wear it. A lot of those herbicides and pesticides and whatnot, pull them out of the ground so they don't make it to the water system, so they don't continue to pollute the water system in those areas, as they have been doing, I am sure, for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's grow more hemp in the South for sure. Let's grow it for fiber, so we can just get rid of the whole cotton thing, start replacing it everywhere on the planet, because it is better and cleaner and nicer and all those things. This next pick is just totally fun. Now we carry the Dr. Squatch. I just got this like right before the show, um, and uh, and um, and I'm like super excited about this because we sell a lot of Squatch soap, and I don't know if we're going to be able to. I don't know if we'll be able to get these wholesale, but I can tell you this: I'm at least ordering a set for me. So, uh, for my own personal collection and use, because I love the Squatch soap as well. There's no doubt about it. And so you can go to squatch.com. I believe right now, I have not even checked this out or verified it. Um, but I did see that they also did a limited edition Independence Day soap that I didn't know about. Again, because sometimes when they do the limited edition, they don't make them available for wholesale retail. Um, but I love my Star Wars. I love my Squatch. It seems logical to combine the two, for sure. Um, and so get out there and get your Star Wars Squatch soap. Last thing in the news that I have is the next big sport to get behind CBD, and that's rugby over in the UK. Now, rugby is not that big here in the States, but it is still, I think, pretty large and popular in Europe and especially the UK. And now the rugby leagues and the rugby players are getting behind CBD as a way to get off of anti-inflammation drugs. The article was about the players, and some of them were again opioids and all this stuff. And if you don't know anything about rugby, it's gotta be the most brutal
Yeah.
sport to play physically on the body because it's like football but no pads.
Hmm.
And there's no tackling, so to speak. It's more grappling and grabbing, kind of thing. But it is just they're running into each other and it's just brutal. To me, again, it just looks brutal on the body. Most of the players are um, heavier, bigger dudes. Um, and so again, the use for recovery assistance, just like I've been talking about, all these, I think it's to me, I think it's definitely most interesting that it is the most brutal sports, mixed martial arts, boxing, now rugby, um, that are the first ones to embrace CBD because they're looking out for their athletes. Um, you know, uh, if there's any professional league or any sports league that is keeping their athletes from using CBD, then they are not benefiting their athletes at all, not in one bit whatsoever. And so, once again, these these sports that really take a toll on the body um, are getting behind CBD because it's not working for them. It's because it is working, and everybody's finding out and knowing about it. And so, the smart thing to do is embrace them and allow that to happen. That's for sure. All right. Well, not a whole lot even going on event wise. Of course, next week, like I said, Hemp Week starts. Woohoo! That's July 17th through the 23rd. Celebrate hemp every day. We celebrate every day of the year, but if you want to take the whole week, that's fine. Um, and then, of course, July 17th is the Kentucky CBD Hemp Show down in Frankfort, Kentucky, at the Capitol Plaza. So they're kicking off Hemp Week with the CBD Hemp Show in Frankfurt. So if you're around the area, you might want to check that out. July 20th through the 21st, you've got the Southern Oregon Hemp Stalk. Every day from 3:30 to 10:30, and they basically it's music, but speakers, and I think they're going to be doing instructional stuff and whatnot there as well. That is Jackson Well Springs Sacred Meadow, Ashland, Oregon, I guess. August 5th, you've got the Kentucky Hemp Association Annual Conference and Trade Show down at the Millwood Arts Center in Louisville. So, if you are a Kentucky Hemp Association member, you're probably going to plan on going to that. If you're not, then you're in Kentucky and you want to know everything about hemp, then join and go to that because they really know what they're doing for the most part. Although the president or the spokesperson from the Kentucky Hemp Association is not really clear on Delta 8 and the laws. But anyway, it's a whole different subject. August 20th through the 21st, you got the Southern Hemp Expo in Nashville, Tennessee. And then August 21st, you've got the Ohio Cannabis Health and Business Summit at the International Exposition Center in Cleveland, Ohio. So check that stuff out if you can. And again, I try to post that stuff on the About page at hemptations.com. So you can go there and check um, on those kinds of things. Okay, so I got a question from, and we had actually posted an article about this doctor. Um, you posted it. I don't know. It's been a while, but anyway, she just asked me, and she is in Zimbabwe. Um, And so she was asking me. She said she needed help with um, planting material, seedlings, and seed. So there, the best advice I can give you is um, you know, I don't know what the process is to buy seeds for supply in Zimbabwe. I know they're growing. It's legal. Industrial hemp is growing. So, you may be able to import them. Um, and seedlings would obviously have to have been started there. And so, that again would be a local, semi local source to get seedlings from. But there are plenty of outlets for industrial hemp seeds. And again, you want to look for somebody that's been around for a while, somebody that if you can find certified, then you're pretty much golden because your results will be what they're saying the results will be. Um, Now, obviously, certified hemp seed is probably in very high demand, and I don't know how many cultivars are even available right now. But there are also a lot of reliable CBD or industrial hemp seed distributors, uh, that you can go through and look for proven results, look for longevity, um, look for things that nothing fancy. What the seed is supposed to be for, whether it's CBD, grain, or fiber, depending on what you're going to grow for. And you know, cross your fingers and hope for the best that you don't come up with that point four. Now I don't know what the laws are, but I'm going to assume that point four is their THC limit as well as it is here. These rules apply just about everywhere. Um, you know, uh, she asked me about licensing, and again, that's a local thing. You want to go to your local state. I mean, as far as even going to the local government, make sure the state law, federal law, um, go to the Department of Agriculture. Not, I wouldn't necessarily talk to law enforcement, that's for sure, because they don't have a clue. Okay,
Yeah.
most licensing that we're seeing now, I don't, that may be different in Zimbabwe because it could be the state that the law enforcement that maybe you have to get the license through anyway. So again, you have to investigate those things to where you are in the world, um, and, and find out directly. And again, I would start with the Department of Agriculture. And they may say, well, that's a law issue, but here's the rules, regulations, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, I think the licensing will be through a Department of Agriculture. Again, I don't know how that works in the state of Zimbabwe in Africa, or however that works. And so, again, licensing wise, in the United States, I definitely, because every state is different. So, definitely get a hold of your Department of Agriculture and find out exactly what the rules and regulations are for your state. Um, and then export markets. And again, um, I would only assume that if it's legal in Zimbabwe and you're shipping to a legal country, then export shouldn't be an issue. Again, I would definitely check with, um, maybe look into, again, the rules and regulations, but also the law. But I would once again think that if you were producing a product, that you should be able to export that product to another country. But once again, investigate the country that you're shipping to. That will be what would get you in trouble is if you try to ship to a country that isn't CBD or industrial hemp. Somehow products aren't legal. If it's fiber, but sometimes food products are an issue. Fiber is usually not an issue, but I will have to say that you even have to. The funny thing is, if you're shipping to France, don't put a hemp leaf on it because a hemp leaf is a pot leaf in France, and you can't put a pot leaf on clothing in France. It's the law. I don't know if that's changed recently or not, but you can't make a drug reference um, on clothing in France. Yeah. And again, there was a shirt company, and I think they were making the shirts in France, or maybe they were making it was close to the Netherlands or somewhere in Europe, and they had hemp leaves on the buttons, and they got in trouble. They were like, you can't sell that in this country. I mean, all they had to do was replace the buttons, which is great. It wasn't like 1,000 shirts made out of hemp that had a big, huge hemp leaf on them. Not that I'm sure they would sell somewhere. Um, and so there's some quirky kind of laws all over the country when it comes to stuff like that. But again, know the laws of the country you're shipping into, and obviously, if it's legal in the country or the state that you're shipping from, then you should be okay. Um, and so, uh, you know, that's the general rules of thumb for all that stuff. United States or Zimbabwe, uh, and things are new to Australia, so definitely check out what's going on there if you're in Australia. That is. Um, and speaking of the laws, I think it's so funny still when people think that I don't know what I'm talking about. But I recently got into a discussion online about Delta 8. And this person was, well, I've got a letter from the DEA that says Delta 8 is not legal. And I'm like, well, A, what's the date on that letter? And B, that's not true at all. And then, of course, I was vindicated because other people on there were like, yeah, Delta 8 is, again, if it's, and this is, here's what's going on, I think, and what the federal government is going to try to do with Delta 8 is the same thing that they tried to do with CBD, is they're going to tell you that it's illegal. And if it's extracted from a plant that has more than zero point 0.4 THC, it is what they call marijuana. So Delta 8 extracted from marijuana would, of course, be federally illegal because marijuana is illegal federally. Okay. But that's not all Delta 8. Okay. Delta 8 can be extracted from industrial hemp in everything, all byproducts, anything that comes from industrial hemp, as long as it's the legal 0.3% or less THC, um, is 100% federally legal. 100% federally legal. That's why states. This is this is how I know this. That's why states are having to change their laws when it comes to Delta 8 because it is federally legal, and the DEA was checked. And if the DEA is running around with a letter right now saying that all Delta 8 is illegal, then that is a blatant lie. And what I think is funny is people think that law enforcement can't lie to you. It's not against the law to lie. Okay? They can lie to you. And they do that in ways just like this. They tell you something's illegal when it's not, just hoping you'll believe them. Okay?
Yep.
Then you won't grow it or you won't use it or you won't support it or, but the fact of the matter is if the Delta 8 is extracted from industrial hemp, which is 100% federally legal, then it too is 100% legal. Check your state laws because that's changing daily in some places, which I think is just absolutely ridiculous. 100% ridiculous. And some places are looking into it, and some states are looking into it and then deciding not to try to make it illegal or touch it because they're finding out honestly it's not this crazy THC thing that's that some places are kind of making it sound like. Law enforcement's always going to make it sound worse than it is. And so again, what they find out is people are benefiting from it, and they hate it when we benefit from natural products. They just hate it. They just hate it. Uh, because nature shouldn't be taxed, in my opinion. But that's a whole nother battle as well. There's a fine line there somewhere with taxing food and beverage, which I realize we don't do for the most part. Some beverage or food and beverage should be taxed because it's not actually beneficial for the human body to eat or drink. Um, and obviously, some shouldn't. Most shouldn't, because we need food to survive. It's a whole key part of the whole essential process of this thing we call living. Um, and again, when nature can supply us things that they can't or don't want, whatever, um, they just hate it. And when I say they, you know who them is.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. um, the last question that I saw, this was actually an article headline that I think is also quite pertinent right now, and it says the U.S. hemp boom is over. What now? Well, here's the deal. It's kind of misleading because guess what? The U.S. hemp boom isn't over. The U.S. CBD boom might be over, but we still need a fiber boom. We really need a grain boom. Um, but, you know, the point is this: we have reached, I think, our peak as far as growing and production when it comes to CBD. Um, Now, what now is the CBD starts getting added to products, um, and they might make a little, and again, it just be a little bit, whether it's a food or a drink or whatever it may be. It's not going to be a CBD product. We have made all these CBD products. Now what we're going to see is CBD is going to start to go into everything, um, faster than I want hemp to go into everything. But it's and really what has to happen there, and that's why everyone is uh, on the federal government, the FDA in particular, to say something, declare something. Okay, when really what we want them to declare, and study it all you want to or whatever, is that it is grass, generally regarded as safe. Okay, once CBD becomes that, then CBD gets added to everything. And I think you might even see a little bit of another little hemp food boom, because we did have a little one maybe like 10 years ago. And of course, it was tiny, but it really started filling the shelves up with hemp foods. And now there's no grocery store. You can't walk into a grocery store and not find hemp food in one form or another. There isn't one. Um, and so, uh, you know, now it's going to be CBD, getting added to anything that's supposed to be a calming agent or whatever, whether it's drink or food or vitamins or, whatever it may be. And, that is also the next big thing is one of these big vitamin companies. And again, we need something more the FDA to make a decision so that this big, huge vitamin company can say, now you've got your daily supply of CBD added on with all the other stuff we're putting in your vitamin and mineral, um, whatever it may or may not be. And so, I think that if that would have happened, if the FDA would have say done that this year, we wouldn't be sitting on surplus CBD flower.
Yeah.
That CBD flower would be bought up. The CBD would be extracted, and then they would be putting it in cosmetics, more food, more drinks, that kind of stuff. Because that is what has to happen next. And then we may actually see then another boom because we're gonna right now we're seeing this supply and demand thing kind of go like this. Right now we've got supply up here. We still have good demand, but it's not quite as much as the supply. Um, and so there's a lot of extra CBD industrial hemp still out there, but it will find a home eventually. And again, the sooner the federal government, i.e., the FDA, says um, CBD is grass, the sooner that that supply will dwindle, and I think dwindle quite quickly, because I think that's why you're still seeing um, even Coca-Cola or uh, Dove soap, or any, I don't know. I'm just naming these big, huge companies that have been around forever. Um, start adding it is because they're worried about the FDA, and they're worried about labeling and putting, they want to put it in their stuff. Trust me, they do. They want to, but they're worried about how they can label it, and they can't. They can always put that asterisk and this has not been approved by the FDA, and that kind of disclaimer that you see. But they don't want to have to do that. They don't want to. They want their stuff to be non-questionable, so to speak. And so it is accepted in every market without shame. Um, and the thing is they want to make sure that every state is on board as well, because when they make a product, if a state says you have to do this, this, or this, then they have to change it for everything. If there's one state that says you have to put this on their label, and the company has never done that before, if they really have to do that in that state, they're either going to stop selling the product in that state, or they're going to change every label they have. They're not just going to make a special batch to send to that state. And so again, the big companies need that clarity before they can jump in, and they want to jump in. And so as soon as the FDA does something, that, like I said, that surplus will come down. And I do think the CBD boom is somewhat over, but I think we've still got quite a bit of demand, that's for sure. Like I said, we need that fiber boom now. Boy, it'd be great to have too much supply of hemp fiber. That'd be a terrible problem to be in. Too much hemp herd for building houses, which actually we probably do have a supply of that, because if there are responsible hemp farmers out there, um, they're not getting rid of that stalk if they're growing for grain or CBD, so to speak. Um, and that's that fiber and that herd for growing. And to see a hemp grain boom would be huge. There are still a lot of food products that we should be adding or making out of hemp that again would be so much healthier for the average human. Um, again, uh, hemp food is no different than what I've been saying the whole long. If we can replace all the hemp foods, or all the foods out there, uh, with hemp where applicable, then it's a healthier, better product than what currently exists. I don't doubt, I mean, there's no question about that. Again, its protein content is one of the highest of all food products that exist, whether it's meat or grain or vegetable or whatever. There's only two or three meats that actually have a higher protein content by weight than hemp seed. And so, you can make hemp noodles out of it, so much hemp bread. I mean, there's a lot of foods that we eat that we really shouldn't eat. And again, that's the food companies have got us. They built a pyramid. They built a pyramid, and they told us what was foods were going to be in that pyramid. And they didn't do it on nutritional value. They did it on supply. We can make a lot of cow milk. It's got calcium in it. We should be eating that. We can make a lot of white bread. Cheap And that grain doesn't have much nutritional value. Actually, I don't know what they said about bread as far as nutritional value originally. It tells us we should be eating it, but white bread does not have much nutritional value at all. Even corn, they put corn in 40% of food products have some type of corn product. We don't even digest corn.
Yeah.
It's like 40% of the food product on the grocery store shelves have some type of corn in it, and our bodies don't even do justice when it comes to digesting corn products, whether it's the sugars or corn itself.
Mhm.
And so you know, and I've always said people shouldn't be on diets; they should just have a good diet. And these are the things I've learned about food over the years of just trying to have a good diet. I don't want to be on a diet. I just want to have a good diet. I want to eat a lot of different stuff, but I want to know what all that different stuff, what I shouldn't be eating, actually, because now that's what we have to do as conscious humans is go back and educate ourselves on what we really should be eating, not what we've been told to eat for hundreds of years. And so, that's relative, and it's super relative to hemp because again, hemp food, hemp grain is important, I think, to human health. And that's the most important part of all of it. So hemp grain is the most important thing you can do with hemp because of human health. Hemp composite is the second most important thing we can do with hemp because that's earth health. Um, but why wouldn't we look out for ourselves first, as we should, as you should, and not listen to what the huge corporations are telling us, especially when it comes to diet and food. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Corporations took over farming in the 80s, and they did not do humans any justice with food production. They just produced food that they could produce cheap and by the masses, and people would eat it. So anyway, um, there you have it, folks. Plenty of good stuff in the Ask Beach Anything or Beach Thoughts segment on today's High Noon Hemp Show.
Mhm.
And I will leave you with those thoughts. And I thank you for watching. And we will be back next week for Hemp Week. And you will learn even more, or not, if not the most you can in a certain period of time. I'll probably go for an hour. I know usually, I think last week's Hemp Week show was at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. It was pretty long. And so it's going to be an extra long episode. And again, my presentation has always been past, present, and future. And so, it's a cleaned up version with notes you can read and feel like you're embracing more. Anyway, uh, thanks everybody, and remember, reduce, recycle, reuse. I think I messed that up.
Mhm.
So I put those in the wrong order, but that's okay. Do all those things: recycle, reuse, reduce, all of that. Make everything else out of hemp. Having that patience.
See y'all next week.
I get excited when I rant.
That's right.